Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, and today I would like to bring forward the tarot and oracle card readings for the month of July of 2022 for the air signs of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Now, if you've had your birth charts done, there's a section on there about the elemental balance in your chart. And so if it is very strong in air, which would make you a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, that would mean that the guides and messages from source are really going to resonate for you. And if its air is really low on the elemental chart, it means that the challenge is probably going to be more that direction. But the reading is for anyone who has air signs in their chart as well. And I read intuitively, so it's the messages that come through may not be the messages on the card. If you are interested in any of the card decks I'm using, they are listed in the description below. And on that note, there are 4 weeks in July. I am not counting days 1 and 2 of July, so we'll start with July 3rd, which will be your first week. And so that works out to 4 weeks. So your first week of July 2022 for air signs, your message or your guide for this first week is the goddess Sarawati and Ammonite, which is a fossil. From word to world is the name of the card. I cultivate the creative power of my throat chakra to prioritize, speak, and live my truth. Through aligning with that which truly resonates, I manifest divine light in the world. I attract and I'm attracted to that which uplifts, assists, and inspires. Through my intentions, thoughts, and words, I shift my frequency and create a loving, healing reality for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I consciously choose my attitude and my words to transform all situations into growth opportunities for my highest good. So what that's saying is this first week is really about owning your truth, which is usually not a hard thing for air signs. They like to be cut to the chase with their words. But if you've had issues or anything with maybe speaking honestly your truth in life, this one's really tapping into that throat chakra, which is all of your communications. So it may not be specifically speaking. It could be writing. It could be some other form of expression that you communicate with. So this first week is all about really clearing up your communication and being open to help from others with clearing that up. So your message from source is the support card. And what this is really saying is, yes, you're speaking your truth and you're working towards really building that as well. And this card is saying that you are supported, you're divinely guided. So the people that are coming into your life during this time period, look for ways they can help you. That it's not so much a selfish thing because there'll be an energetic exchange in any form of situation, but look at how they can support and help you move through this situation with really stepping back into your clear language, your clear communication, because that's what the throat chakra is all about. But the message from source is really about you're supported divinely and physically as well. So your challenge for this first week of July 2022 air signs is the Two of Spring, a bright future manifested through hard work and creativity, partnering with others who share your dreams, and great progress being made. So your challenge this first week is really about being willing to accept the support of others in the physical world. Air signs tend to be okay with the spiritual because it's a little bit, they can understand that concept better. But when people want to come up and help them in the physical, it can be a little bit of a struggle. Air likes to be a little bit more independent than that. But what this card is really saying is your struggle for this, or your challenge for this first week, is really about being willing to accept the help that is being offered and working in partnership with other people to create this successful endeavor and taking it out of the logic and going more into the creative, so tapping a little bit into the water aspect as well. So your second week of July is the goddess Kali and black obsidian, the sacred revolution. It says, I release allegiance to the old cycles, opening my soul to the birthing process of the Divine Mother, who guides me into the highest fulfillment of my potential. An entirely new order is being established in respect of this greater unfolding of power. I am willing to be moved, inspired, and guided to embrace the new approaches and responses. I possess the courage required for change. I trust that the universe loves me, and so I let it grow. So when Goddess Kali shows up, she tends to be a little bit of a chaos goddess, but she's also a triple goddess. She has a mother, a warrior, but she's also a death goddess, and that's what most people associate with her, thanks to some movies. But in reality, she's a very compassionate, loving goddess. But when she shows up in your life, the one thing that she does not like, which this resonates pretty well with air signs, she doesn't like things that are not true. And she tends to cause chaos, shaking it up, shaking those things out that aren't working, and really cutting to the bare bones of what's happening. So for this third week, the goddess Kali showing up means that there could be a little bit of chaos, but you're supported and it's for your betterment. And the stone obsidian might be a good one to carry for the second week because it's helping you ground and stay focused and centered when things might be getting a little chaotic or shaken up. So your message from Source is differences. And air signs tend to be a little bit more open to changes of seasons and changes of in life in general. And what this card is saying is be open to embracing the differences. You might be different from your neighbor, and that's cool. You're okay with that. And what this card is really saying is the divine's coming in to remind you that these differences are actually a benefit. And how can you use the differences in, let's say, your work groups to build the project to its highest level? Who's a good organizer? Who's a good planner? Who's the one who knows how to find all the supplies that you need? Who knows how to get people motivated? And those are all differences that work really well. And as an air sign, you're looking at things from generally a logical perspective. So learning those differences and how they can work together is a really great talent. And Source is saying use those skills the second week to your fullest advantage. Your challenge or lesson for this second week of July 2022 for air signs is the 9 of Winter. Unfounded fear, focusing on worst case scenarios, allowing worry to grow out of proportion to the problem. And what that's saying is, going back to the work group example with the differences, don't let those differences overwhelm and cause the chaos that could be coming because of the Kali energy that's coming forward. But really let that go. Kali's there to show you that this chaos is actually not a bad thing, and it might be necessary to clear out the excess. But the big part that you need to work on this second week and the challenge is really not being worried about it. Letting that worry come in, let it go, just like a good breeze through the room clears out any stagnant air. Allow that to happen, but don't be too concerned with how it works out. Just let it work out. So let's move on to the third week of July 2022 for air sign guide and guiding stone. The deck is not wanting to talk to me today. There it is. And your card is the Ascended Master Yogananda, and the stone is Rhodonite, which is Empowered Service. I step into my rightful place with dignity, reverence, and grace. My higher purpose is empowered by the divine. My connection to the light is strong and unwavering and enduring, so much so that my trust in its power and presence is unconditional. I accept the invitation from the universe to step up to a new level of expression and fulfillment of my higher purposes. I open my heart to the divine harvest of blessings pouring into my soul. I recognize the readiness within my own soul. So this third week is really about how can you work with others but do so in a divinely guided way. And the Ascended Master Yogananda is actually a good example of working with these higher energies to higher frequencies. And everyone has their shadows, but working with Ascended Master Yogananda is a good way to really work with this, bringing divine energy in, being open to receiving it, but also being an example for others so that other people can learn by your example. Not all teaching is done through word and verbal communication. A lot of it is done through nonverbal communication, being an example, and that's what the purpose of that message and that card is learning how to be the example without using your words so much, being more of the physical example. So your message from Source is your intention. And what that is saying is that the Source is really here to help you set your intentions and set your guiding principles. You don't want to be too airy, too flighty. You really want to get your intentions and what your goals are set. And then once they're set, Source is saying that Source will be there to help you move the next step. What's the next step? Your goal is ahead of you, but how do we get there? And so setting your very strong intentions this third week is really what the message from Source is. And Source is saying, I'm here to help you, but let's get you decided on what your next steps are and where you want to be. So this third week is really for your message is setting your intentions and setting them in a way that is the most beneficial for you and the people that you're around. So your lesson or challenge for this third week is a life lesson. It is the Major Arcana card number 9, the Hermit. Find or be a mentor, take a break from society, a commitment to your spiritual growth. So what this is saying is during this third week, life could be a little bit interesting. And you're setting your intentions and you're really working with Source energy to make those goals. What are my next steps? What's my 1, 5, 10-year plans type thing? And the Hermit is saying your challenge is to step away, to set your intentions and to really get connected in and work with that divine light. You need to take a moment. Step away, go do something that is quiet so that you can really bring these ideas and intentions in. And when you do that, it allows you to connect with Source in a much deeper way. Find or be a mentor could mean that while you're doing your spiritual work and you're stepping away and kind of chilling out and getting focused and reconnected, it might be another one of those nonverbal lessons where you're teaching maybe it's your children, your spouse, something like that, about this patience, this stepping away. There's times when it's necessary to turn off the TV, turn off the computer, especially the news, and just really get involved with your spiritual practice, really get involved with speaking with Source, and that's what your challenge is for this third week. So this fourth week, your guide and stone is the Ascended Master Serapis Bay and Clear Calcite. It is the Karmic Grace card. I attract divinely inspired solutions and uplifting healing energies. I consciously cultivate optimism and joy to elevate any frequency. My soul resonates with forgiveness and freedom. I allow the easiest and most graceful way to open for me. My path is clear. I honor the worth of my soul and the love that blesses and guides my journey. I acknowledge that karma is transformed through grace and becomes wisdom. I open my heart to such grace for the spiritual benefit of all beings. So for this fourth week, it's really about the lessons that you learned in the third week. You are stepping away, you're being a good example, you're setting your intentions, but you're really connecting to Source. And what this fourth week card is saying is you're really working to clear out that karma, and by doing that, you're going to radiate these divine lessons in a much more powerful way. And you may start to draw people to you who are like, how do you do that? What do I need to do to work that direction? Everyone's path is unique, and what this is saying is be open and be transparent. You're working with a clear stone that week. So it's all about being open and willing to show them, this is what I had to do. It was a little bit rough at times, but that's how life is. And also be there to help guide them if necessary, because your lesson from the third week is a mentorship. And so this fourth week is like boots to the ground, show them how it's done type of a thing. And your message from Source is security. And this is really talking about that spiritual security in this aspect, because once you start to really connect in with the divine source energy, you start to feel this version of security that doesn't have anything to do with the physical needs. It has like money and jobs and all that. It has to do with the spiritual security of I'm safe, I am loved, I am taken care of. The universe truly does care about my needs and is helping me make better decisions and helping me work into a much more clear environment. And so Source is really saying out loud right now that embrace this connection to Source, embrace your spiritual practice, and feel secure in the knowledge that God Source energy is here to support you as long as you are working for the benefit of yourself and others and not to the detriment. So your lesson for this 4th week is also another life lesson. It's the Magician card. You can do anything, take charge of your life, you can manifest what you need to be a success. So the Magician is on the path of spiritual enlightenment. They have learned the basic skills from when they were a fool, which is the 0 card. And now you have these basic skills, and now it's time to really put them into practice and move forward with them. So the challenge is you have gifts, skills, and abilities. How can you make them into a betterment of your job, a betterment for your life, and a betterment for yourself personally? And how can you use them to really tap into that divine aspect of who you are so that it can manifest the joy, prosperity, light, and love into your life? So let's look at the overall theme or the overall guide for the month of July 2022 for air signs. It is the Ascended Master Babaji, and your stone is the diamond. I can get that to show up. It's a really cool looking card. If my light would be better. Sorry about that. It says, "So it shall be. I pursue my sole purpose with passion and dedication. I have inner knowledge that everything is working out according to a greater loving plan. My highest priorities reflect the desires of my soul. I generously invest time, energy, and focus on what truly moves my heart. My commitment to my heart's loving truth is my sanctuary. An inner stillness anchors me in peace. I am calm as the wild creativity of the divine feminine stimulates my soul growth and spiritual awakening." So your guide and your stone for this 4th week is really letting you know that there's someone here helping you and supporting you as your spiritual practice grows and as life throws some monkey wrenches at you to really stir things up. But this is really saying this is a time for you to really expand, to really tap into that divine aspect and reconnect, if you haven't yet, to how you see Source, how you work with God Source energy, and allowing that to radiate out from you. Because the desires of your heart, if they're in line with divine source, are going to come so effortlessly that it's like magic almost. They literally just show up. And so really tapping into that this month is advisable. So your message from Source, because that was your guide, is the Acceptance card. And this actually ties into the your guide card, because the month of July is all about accepting the things that you have, accept the things you can't change, accept your gifts and really step into their power and to their grace, and allow those gifts to radiate out and to really show up in the world as the divine child of God that you are. And so your message is all about accepting and being willing to share the things that you have. Be grateful for the things that you have. Do a gratitude list frequently through the month of July, just so that you can learn that you're accepting these parts of you. Even if they look a little weird, like, you get a little moody sometimes or whatever, that could be a benefit in some aspects. There's an author that had a book called The Dark Side of the Lightworker, and she talks about even the parts that you of yourself that you don't like and you don't appreciate, in a lot of ways, once you start tapping into divine source energy, those can become gifts. So your anger can be channeled into something that is aggression towards a project goal, tempered with compassion type of a thing. But that's the acceptance that you're working with, is really accepting even the less savory parts of who you are. So your challenge and lesson for the month, so this is an overall view of what you're working on this month, is the Strength card. So this is a life lesson. It's a major arcana card. And it says, the grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness. Time to embrace how wonderful you really are. So the challenge is really developing your inner soul strength, your willpower, if you wish to call it that. And everything that's going on this month looks like there's a little bit of chaos at the first part and it mellows out towards the end. And that's great in one sense. It's also about building your structural strength. Like, how do you work in groups? How do you work within your family? How do you work within your community? And building on your strengths. What are your strengths? So identifying them. And then finding out how you can use them to improve your life, your family, your job, and your community. So, with that, we will end this reading, and I hope that this resonates for you, air signs. If you enjoyed this, if you wouldn't mind giving it a like and maybe subscribe if you like the content that I'm putting out. And if you want to leave a comment, I do appreciate that. All I ask is that you be respectful, and on that note, I will talk to you guys in a future video.